Well, hey there. Welcome to Real WW Talk. I'm Erin.
I'm Candice.
And I'm Rikki.
Ladies, let's touch base about our weeks. How do we do this week? What was this week like for you?
I'm obsessed with my walking pad, and I'm not afraid to say it.
You bought a walking
I have a walking pad, and you will know we're doing a step bet. So when it's been cold, and sometimes I like to go outside and walk, but sometimes I just don't have the time. And this walking pad has I am a full convert.
That's
watch
awesome.
TV. I was able to get I've been hitting 10,000 steps consistently every day, if not a few more, because of this walking pad. I can't say more good things. So
nice.
That's my twin. That's I'm a convert, and I'm telling everyone I know about it. It's something new.
What about your Peloton?
Oh no, that's different. I love that thing. I'm never going to get rid of my Peloton. I do my Peloton in the morning. That's my morning workout. But my walking pad, which my dad is isn't that just a treadmill, Dad? It's a walking pad.
Yes.
Because it can go anywhere. It's portable. It's smaller.
Yeah.
You can slide it under the sofa. It's $100. I found on Amazon.
That sounds so nice. Because you don't get your steps on the Peloton. You just don't it doesn't work.
No. So I've it's been great with the weather kind of being up and down. So that's my new obsession is my walking pad. So I feel really good.
Look at that, Rikki. What about you?
It's been good. I've been, just sticking to my goals. I've been really working on, tracking my food and taking food to work. I'm still doing the factor meals, which has been just an easy way to, be prepared and have something that's nutritious and has vegetables in it and is, healthy. So I'm really proud of myself.
The word vegetables.
I know, it's it's a new leaf for me, pun intended. But yeah, so that's been really good, and just continuing with my exercise goals, continuing to get back into the swing of doing at least 2 to 3 days of something during the week, whether that's a Get Fit with Rick video, walking to get steps in, or getting on the bike. I've just been keeping up with that, and it feels really good.
Yay. I'm still trucking ahead, steady Eddie. That's kind of where I am right now. It's been a little, it's up and down. It's up and down. I always feel like I'm so inconsistent in my mood sometimes. But we just had the funeral for my friend Becky, and there was another funeral. And so I'm riding waves. I just feel like I never get to steady water, but that's okay, because when I learn how to ride the waves, I'm building, tools for other things. I'm building things that need to be built. So
how have you been practicing that intentional self-care we talked about during that? Because that seems like a lot of emotions that you've had to kind of.
Yeah. I have been doing a lot of journaling, and not a lot of TV watching at all. I've turned that off, because I realized that in the evenings, I will sometimes use TV to deaden my emotions and push them aside, as opposed to, really work through them. And even just, as a person of faith, what's the Lord talking to me about right now, and being able just to take all of those emotions. Did you hear that Baltimore? Emotions. That just slid right out. All of those emotions.
And hide who you are, Erin. It's okay.
It's okay. Be who you are. Okay. Let it out.
It felt like it was the Wizard of Oz for a moment. My cape was sticking out from underneath the curtain real quick.
You've been exposed. You've been exposed.
Exactly. Oh, golly. But put my emotions over to the Lord, because he can handle them, and they reveal things about me, right? It reveals how I process, what are the things that I reach for, all of those things. And even just being able to help other people and help guide them through their emotions. But I can't do that if I don't know what mine are telling me about different things. So yeah, just really focusing on that part of it. Did a lot of journaling and a lot of thanking God for different things. And then checking in on people, because there's just a ton of stuff it's not just me. And I think that's the thing is when things happen, you tend to go internal. And it's actually a really great opportunity for us if we can stop and, change our thought process. Is there are other people, not just me, not just you, right? And all is connected, and how can I be caring for them as well? Because actually it's through caring for others and gratitude that we actually find things start to lift for us, the isolation, the isolation ends. So thank you for asking that.
Sure.
So, and walking, I'm still doing I have my walking pad, but I realized that my walking pad, as someone who is 6 feet tall, my stride is a little bit longer and it still works, but it skips. And so I've had for me to I'm usually walking at like a 3.8 or a 4 and the belt skips and I've almost killed myself a couple times. And so I'm like, I really
want to not do that. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like, at least have it where the belt, if you fall off, it calls someone. Like,
exactly. Here I am laying alone on my shag carpet.
I can't get up. Yeah. She's on that darn walking pad again.
Well, at least I'm comforted by the comfort of the shag carpet.
Yes.
So sad.
Well, at least we knew you were trying to do something good.
I was trying. Just a couple of people that I wanted to highlight from our Real WW Talk Facebook group, which anybody, you are welcome to join in. Just search Real WW Talk. Ashley.
Questions.
Answer
those questions, because if you don't, then I'm not letting you in.
That's right. This is how we keep it a great space, because Candice is no bots.
She's
no bots.
No bots. Sorry.
No bots get in. Ashley, she said, you know what? I did my New Year's reset finally. Got the Healthy app, which is, if you've never heard of it, it's HELTHI. And I think the Healthy app, guys, that has like some WW stuff in there from like old points programs or something like that. So, it's not perfect. It's not WW, but it can be enough to get you started to go, hey, I think I'd like to do WW more. WW also has great prices right now for the digital thing. I think it's $10 for just the digital app stuff.
For 10 months. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, she said, I got the Healthy app re-downloaded. I got the treadmill set up at my desk. Walking pad, Candice. I'm still thinking about rejoining WW, but figured I'd try Healthy first. I didn't hop on the scale yet. I'll assess the damage tomorrow morning. But what I love and what Ashley did, like what we talked about last week, the things to quit, perfection, making sure that everything is perfect before you get started. And she's like, nope, I'm going to start right now with what I have, and I'll, upgrade later if I decide. I love that.
That's great.
Mickey had some really great advice. She was sharing her 24 weight graph, and the headline was, "Don't sweat the fluctuations." I am a daily weigher, and I want you to see all of the ups and downs. She uses the happy scale to log her weight, and she said the happy scale graph on the right in the picture she shared shows her monthly progress. She says, I can see my high and low weights for the month, and I can pick out even those 2 vacations and the holidays I had. But weight loss isn't seen day to day or even week to week. It's seen over time. And when I connect that first weight to the most recent weight, I see that trend line is going down to the tune of 25 pounds in a year, which is about half a pound a week, which is perfect. So keep being patient. Keep being consistent. Consistency over time equals results.
Love that.
Wonderful. Yes. So well said.
And that's in our episode, because that's right there.
Yes. But can you imagine, think about that. If you were to tell somebody, hey, if by this time, the end of the year, you weigh 25 pounds less, would you want that?
Yes.
Or not?
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Okay, well, it's half a pound a week.
Yeah.
And that half a pound, when we look at it through that week lens, and we only, quote unquote, see half a pound, why do we get so discouraged? Because we're not keeping the end goal in mind. That half a pound a week adds up to 25 ding dang pounds.
Letting go of that comparison to others who you feel may be losing quicker and doing different things.
Right.
You got it.
And also it's a culture. It's the diet culture of, there's still commercials on that say you can lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. And it's like, well, maybe I wasn't meant to lose 10
Yeah.
pounds in 2 weeks and keep it off.
And
Lose
keep
more
it off.
quicker. Keep it off. That's the thing. That's the whole goal of what we're trying to do is keep it off.
Mhm.
Keep it off, baby. And then Shannon, bless her, she posted a picture of the scale and she said, today is a huge milestone. It's been over 30 years since I have seen the scale below 200. I stood in the mirror, cried happy tears, and felt so accomplished for all of my hard work. I've been on and off WW for a long time, but I started back 66 days ago and I have lost 18 pounds.
Yay.
Wild.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And then Katie, I love this. I don't know if you guys saw the picture that she posted in our Facebook group, but it was a picture of a mirror. And then at the bottom, there was a decal and it said, "You've got this." And she said, I just wanted you guys to see, I added this little reminder to my bathroom mirror. And she added the link to Amazon where she got the little "You've got this" decal, sticker decal. I'm like, what a great idea to transform your bathroom mirror into a positive expression and reminder. That's something not something I've thought about doing, but I love that.
Anywhere that you can add a little more positivity.
Yeah.
It's always a win.
Let's roll with it.
Yeah.
So I thought, ladies, we're at the point with what last week was we had National Quitters Day. And we're halfway through January. And I don't know about you, I think for most people, the the sugar is finally wearing off. We've got that sugar detox is happening, and there's a little confidence growing of like, well, I could have a little something,
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, we are not against sugar. It's everything is in moderation, but we also know this time of year, and especially what we've just come through with Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's treats, and it's okay to give ourselves a little bit of a break. We're not trying to deprive ourselves, but I just wanted to ask you guys, where are you guys right now with like sugar and treats? Are they around, or are you like ixnay on the sugar A?
I know I've gotten to a really good place where it's ebbed and flowed throughout my whole WW journey, whether or not I can keep sweets in the house. But I am in a place where I have a candy jar, and I take a couple pieces every day and eat it after dinner, and then it's good. I'm not like bringing it to the couch with me and eating all of it. I still have a sweet tooth, but it's not as strong as it used to be, and I don't have the same feelings of like I have to binge all of this. It's just a sweet treat after dinner. I don't feel deprived, and then I move on. So that's where I am now. It's not to say a month from now, 2 months from now, next year, I'll still be doing the same thing. I use what happens on a day-to-day basis as feedback. So if I get feedback to say I can't handle that anymore, then it's going to be out of the house. But right now, for me, it's in the house.
I love that approach. That's awesome, Rikki.
Yeah. And I'm probably in a little bit of a different space, which is that I've recognized it I haven't been able to handle sugar around. Just for me, because it is so, I have a really, really massive sweet tooth, and even like the fake sugars, like all of it, I've had to just be mindful. I'm not saying I've cut it out completely, but I have chosen to not have it in the house for myself. Like if it's somewhere else and I have it a piece or so, that's one thing, but to keep it in the house for me has been too much. And it's been great to kind of have a break in between, from having it all the time in the house and now not. I feel like my health has gotten a lot better.
Yeah. I'm kind of in that space. Like I did really well October and November, and then Christmas I did well, like leading up to Christmas, and then something happened like right before Christmas, and I would say like Christmas week, because I had the cinnamon rolls, and it wasn't like I went overboard on the cinnamon rolls or anything like that. Everything was moderation. But even with moderation, it was more than what I had before. And it started to get me back into that pattern of I need a little something sweet every day. And I'm like, that's not a good pattern for me, because that little something sweet suddenly like starts to mushroom into more of something sweet. And yeah, I got to do a hard cut for myself to bring it back,
like
back
you said,
to
it went from a small Reese's miniature to 2
right
to 3 to fit. And then I was like, wait a second, like, is this me being in control or am I not? Like, and then you want to hide your counting. And I was like, when I start to want to hide, I'm like,
Yep.
that's when I know that it's like, okay, this is
I don't want to track it.
I don't want to track it. I'm being dishonest, to myself. Like, I'm like, it's starting to become not something that is a treat. And I feel like I'm working it into my plan. It's controlling me. And that's why I was like, I need to kind of for a little while.
Yeah.
You never know. But to Rikki's point, it doesn't mean forever. It just means right now.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's the thing it's the moderation part of what do you need to do? What do you need to do for yourself right now at this moment? Because, we've talked before where, restriction never works. But I do think that there's abstinence at a time of I'm going to abstain from this thing for just a little bit because for me, it's more damage for me to keep going on it as opposed to just saying, hey, I'm not going to have this right now. Doesn't mean I can't ever have it. But for right now, I don't need this. It's okay. I've just had all of it in December.
Yeah. I've been doing that really weird technique it was not a weird technique. The technique that you had given, we talked about last year, year before last, who knows when, but I bring it up from time to time. It's yes, the track in advance. So I'm like, oh yeah, I really want a bundt cake. I'm going to track it for February 14th. And I literally go into the tracker and go to February 14th and I track a whole bundt cake from Nothing Bundt Cakes. And then I'm like, okay, I have planned for it. And so now what I'm finding is that I have all these days that are coming up where I had planned stuff from like 3 weeks ago. And I was like, oh, I guess I did want that then. I don't want it today though. So now, that is something that I really do like to kind of remind people of, because it's been very helpful for me because I don't like to tell myself no. And so that's not me saying no. It's saying, yes, you're going to have it next Thursday. The whole thing too. Each and every piece. And then that Thursday comes and I'm like, oh, that was today. Right. And I don't want it.
Yeah, you're not depriving yourself. And I think that's the key is just giving yourself what you're craving, but that delayed gratification and even just the gratification from knowing you can delay it kind of makes it not even as powerful anymore.
Yeah. Delay, don't deny, right?
Yeah. Well, I feel like we also have, at least for those of us in the Maryland or kind of the mid-Atlantic space, and we've had this cold snap. I know for my friends who are out in the Midwest, they're like, we've been dealing with blizzards since October, yo. But there is that shift from I feel like fall cooking to winter cooking. What are you guys cooking right now? What does that look like for you? Especially winter cooking and New Year cooking.
I had a kitchen mishap. I tried to make something. It didn't go as well as I wanted. So I'd love to redeem myself for it. But I was making basically a beef stew. And where I went wrong, which, it sounds like the easiest thing in the world. Where I went wrong was it said to cook with wine. And I had a red wine, but it was a sweet red wine. And it didn't say how much. So I think I didn't put too much in, but it was not dry. So the stew had this sweetness to it that just shouldn't have been there. And I think I should have salted it a little bit more too. And, I try not to go crazy with the salt, but I did kind of miss that flavor. So it was my first time making it. So I will try again. But that thing that I was craving was that comforting stew, having a nice quality beef in there. And then I made my own version of a lasagna that same week and I froze it. So I haven't eaten it yet, but I love having something in the freezer that I made. I didn't do a ton of pasta in it. I did more of the meat. I did the now 0 point beef in there. And I made my own little cheese mixture and, had the meat sauce and a little bit of pasta. And I'm excited to try that. But I think those hearty, meaty things that have that a little bit of saltiness and warmth to them are what I'm craving right now.
Gosh, that sounds really good.
I've been in probably a stew soup mood, but I've been very, very focused on getting in more fruits and vegetables specifically, because I'm really great with fruit. Like that's not really a problem. But I've been making my favorite stew that I've told you all about before is like my red pepper and tomato stew that has like onions and garlic, and you cook it all day long, and it's just chock full of like veggies, and then you add chicken at the end. Oh, it's so good. And this 1 point for those who, because you're really putting a little olive oil, that makes it fantastic. But I find that when it's cold outside, and I just gotta know, something about soups and stews make me feel all good this time of year, So I've been trying to lean, and it's so easy to put veggies in, and to sneak veggies in, because I like Rikki, we both have kind of worked on trying to find ways to get more vegetables into our diet. And when I was my son had given me RSV and we were all going through it, Erin actually, there was a recipe that she dropped off, because if you're sick and you have an Erin in your life, she will randomly come over and be like, here, you don't think you're gonna like it, but you're gonna like it. Right. And it was like a peanut. Yummy kale goodness type thing that was 4 points for a cup, but it not only made me feel good eating it, it was a different taste than I'd ever had. So I found a way to kind of like expand my palate using soups and stews. That's been my love this time of year.
So. I love it. I'll have to, the recipe is from Budget Bytes, and it's, I think the title is Vegan Peanut Stew, and it's all I'll say is follow the recipe. You're going to look at the recipe and go, none of this makes sense. And I don't know how this is going to taste good. I promise you, Candice will second Miss who.
The notes that she gave when she dropped this off at my door were like, you will try this. I don't want to hear. It's 1 cup. You're just try it once. Not only did I love it, but my mom is getting over her surgery. Like it truly is. It's just a reminder that you don't know what you may like if you give it a chance. And this is one of those.
Yeah. I made it as a challenge the first time I made it as a challenge, because I, as a person who does cooking, looked at the ingredients and went, there's no way that this is going to taste good. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is amazing. So in the winter time, I love nourishing things with a lot of like the good vitamins and minerals, especially because trying to keep up the vitamin A stores, the vitamin C, vitamin E, all of those things that our bodies need in the wintertime helps fight off colds, or, put stuff in the bank if we have them versus how we get them, etc. So I try to do a lot of those food combinations so you get a lot of the earthy veggies in there. But that peanut stew is one, because it's just really warm and comforting and hearty and super filling, carbohydrate rich, but then you get the peanut butter, so you get some fat in there. It's just super good. But I've definitely been making the soups. I don't know about you guys, but like, I don't want anything cold right now. I don't want anything cold on my teeth. I want all warm stuff.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of roasted veggies. And do you guys know you could do this? That you could take frozen vegetables and you could actually roast them, and they will they'll taste like you've roasted regular vegetables.
No.
Try broccoli. Try cauliflower.
Wow.
Just put it in the oven.
Straight from frozen. So what I'll do is I'll take the bag, I'll pull it out, I'll drizzle a little bit of olive oil over top of it, whatever seasoning I want, and then drop it right onto your sheet pan, that you've sprayed the sheet pan, and then roast it at 425 for like 20 minutes.
So I made Brussels sprouts around the holidays, and the pain is, and you can buy them pre-cut probably, but it's kind of a pain to chop them all before you roast them. I wonder if you could buy pre-cut frozen Brussels sprouts and do that with.
So I have not tried frozen Brussels sprouts, only because my mother used to make those for us when we were kids, and she boiled them.
My mom did too. It was terrible.
You all know I love Brussels sprouts. It's
That's why I hated them for the first 20 years of my life.
Same. And then I watched the Food Network, and I had never seen a fresh Brussels sprout before.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if my mom likes the frozen ones, I wonder if mom will like the fresh ones. And so that's how I got her to try something new, because it was something that she loved, just in a different form. And then I discovered, well, I like these too. This is a happy thing. So I'm the Brussels sprout maker in the family. Now, when we have, family stuff, mom will say, I'll let you make the Brussels sprouts.
I love
Brussels
it.
sprouts that's one veggie I really enjoy. Now, of course, I love it in ways that,
well, I mean,
you put a little bacon with it, like adding balsamic. I'm like, of course I like Brussels sprouts. That's what my friend would say. So she's
right.
But I did it with turkey bacon for Christmas. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you turkey bacon is exactly the same as regular bacon, but it had really good flavor. It was crispy. And I loved having it, the bite, with the Brussels sprout and some balsamic. I really felt like it was just as good.
But hear me out. Okay. Even if you were to use regular bacon, let's say you cooked up center cut bacon, and instead of using the avocado oil, you use a tablespoon of the bacon fat to toss them in. And then you roast them and you put, 4 pieces of the bacon over top. Well, that's only probably 4 points for the bacon part. Or, a couple hundred, maybe 200, 300 calories. Like, it's not, quote unquote, that big of a deal.
Erin, I would say that that's something that I'm learning in my own cooking journey. Like, as somebody who there was a time I really did enjoy cooking. But I think I got really heavy in trying to make the swaps to make it healthier. But what I've learned is that sometimes it's just reducing the amount of something that you like that kind of really does get the flavor. Like, sometimes it's not about putting margarine, it's about putting maybe a teaspoon of butter or this, because I want the flavor, to be there. So I've really been experimenting with that so that I can learn to really love food again and not see it as punishment. And the faces that you all made when you thought of the boiled Brussels sprouts, you're both like, I remember that core memory. I don't want to do that to Isaiah, where he's like, I hate Brussels sprouts because of you. But
I'll never eat salmon again if there's mozzarella on it.
Peanuts too, but it takes kind of really wanting to experiment, and giving yourself that option. And I have a question. What are you all doing for what you're drinking? Has that changed? Because, it's sometimes hard during the winter to get in our water and stuff. You talk about not wanting to have things that are too cold, or we're not doing smoothies. If you are a smoothie drinker in the summer, what are you all kind of drinking on right now? Or is it water?
I don't do soda a lot because it upsets my stomach, but I have Canada Dry Ginger Ale, a cherry flavor. It's 5 calories. It's so it's it's a diet drink. It does have the artificial sugar in it. But I'll get a box of this every now and then. This is the canned version, and let myself have that over the course of a couple weeks, and then I probably won't get it again for a while because I don't like to have a lot of the artificial stuff all the time. But I feel like it's, like you said, everything in moderation. I think I got used to, when I was like around a teenager, drinking diet soda. So I don't necessarily like the taste of regular soda. So it's not even that I'm choosing this soda for that reason, but also like the poppies, the Ollie Pops, those things like that I've really enjoyed too. And I don't necessarily make an everyday thing, but I think those are a nice thing to kind of add to dinner, and it feels like a treat to me. But other than that, I just drink water.
Okay. I didn't know. Go ahead, Erin.
I'm doing water, but I'm doing room temperature or warm water because I'm like, the cold water is just, it's too cold for me. And then I have some of the, the little squeezy things, the flavor water things. If I want, I actually have been doing lemon. Just doing lemon with a little mint extract.
Knew it. I was waiting.
Because I've been making my Baltimore. I call it my Baltimore lemon water, lemon stick water. So it's a little bit of the lemon and the mint, so you get the little lemon stick flavor. But I've been doing warm, and then I've just been doing tea, a whole bunch of like the celestial seasonings. I love the cinnamon apple the Bengal Spice, Morning Thunder. That one's got caffeine, but the other two are decaf. Those have been my go-to. So I've pretty much been getting most of my water intake through tea.
Well, and that's why I asked, because I know that we all sometimes want something hot. Now, it doesn't sound like even though all the years that we've been talking, we haven't really expressed a lot about like hot chocolates or a lot of people really love that can be hard with points and like the sugar and stuff. But sometimes like on a day like today where might be you have weather and you want to kind of cozy up, during the winter, I am going to teas as well, because it gives me I love coffee too. Like since I've become a mom, like coffee is my thing. And I have my friends who gave me my Nespresso and trying different recipes there and different ways to kind of make it has been fun during the winter, finding what's my good winter.
Well, you can make a really good hot chocolate if you pick your milk, right? Or you could do water. 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder to, let's say, 12 ounces of the milk or the water, and then use one of your sugar-free coffee syrups. Like I think did I give you chocolate chip cookie dough?
Yes.
Okay. So imagine doing the milk heated with 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder and then 2 tablespoons of your sugar-free cookie dough sweetener.
Okay. And so I want to make sure everyone who's listening understands. She didn't give me cookie dough. It's a sweet. It's like it's a
Tirani sugar-free
cookie dough flavored syrup.
Yeah,
and I like that idea. I also like to incorporate hot chocolate just in this time of year. It's like starting in the holidays, but in my coffee. So I will make my regular morning coffee, and then I'll do maybe just a scoop of the hot chocolate. I have a milk frother, so I'll froth in the hot chocolate with the milk, and then I have my Nespresso, and that's pouring out the espresso shot. So I add the espresso shot to the like kind of milder hot chocolate, and
make a mocha.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I think yeah. But I think that's what I'm enjoying. That's why I wanted to bring it up, that you can have those things throughout this time of year, because I think there was a time period when I was very rigid with myself and I'd say I couldn't. So hearing people talk about ciders or talk about hot chocolate or talk about things, I always felt like it had to be diet or I had to abstain. And what we're talking about, even with like the soups and stuff like that, to me, whenever I used to think I didn't like soup, because I was traumatized by Weight Watchers 0 point soup. Not because it's bad, but because, do you remember they talked about it all?
Yes.
Like anytime they're like, if you have no more points left, you can have the Weight Watchers 0 point soup. And I'm like, I don't want that. Like something about it, you're not selling it to me.
I never tried.
Did you ever make it? Neither did I. Erin, I'm sure you did.
No.
Oh,
I refused to. One of the things that I promised myself many, many, many years ago when I started doing WW is if I have to eat iceberg lettuce or any other shortcuts like that, that's not how I'm living for the rest of my life.
Be the best soup ever, and we just, because we're being like hard, we're like, we will not try it, because I hear people liked it. Like, I don't know.
And I'm also not doing zero fat ground turkey chili. I'm not doing that either. Give me ground turkey that's got some fat up in it.
I think
now you can have 0 points.
I think we've all been on this plan long enough to know that not everyone's taste buds are different.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that will say, oh yeah, this bar is just like a candy bar. Like those ones is it Built bars? They're good.
They were not exactly,
but
Rikki.
they were not brownies.
Stop lying. Right. It tastes like chalk. Okay. You're insulting my intelligence. That is not a cookie dough bar. Sorry. Thank you, Rikki. That makes me feel better, because people they just lie.
I think everyone just jumped on the bandwagon like, oh yeah, that does taste just like a Snickers.
Remember when the Quest bars and like you were supposed to microwave the Quest bars to turn them into a dessert? Nope.
Wrong again.
You turned them into a note is what you did. You wasted $1.49. Those things are probably $2.49 now.
This margarine tastes just like butter. No, it doesn't.
It tastes like plastic in my arteries.
Tastes like plastic, okay? And we can say that, right?
Right.
Just like we sometimes when we do talk about the artificial sugars, sometimes you can taste it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I just don't pretend. Like I know that it's fake. No, it's not. It tastes it doesn't taste exactly the same.
Like some people can do stevia.
Yeah.
Like that's a hard one.
Yeah.
For me. I would love to do it because I know it's natural. And I actually had a stevia leaf plant that I grew one year.
Wow.
And I still didn't like it.
This is just not going to work. And in the year of us just being honest, real, like I think that's what we're trying to really bring back to the program. Even when we're talking about food now, like how can I have real, authentic, a little bit of hot chocolate that tastes good and is real versus you telling me that some Carnation instant something plus this, add a little bit of this, it's not real, is going to make me feel like it's hot chocolate.
Right. By the way, can I tell you a little something too? If you have a Carnation, if you guys can do the little with the Swiss Miss cocoa packets, if you haven't done this in a while,
like Nestle Quick.
No, like the Swiss Miss hot cocoa packets.
Oh,
right?
See, I haven't had that in a while. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like one of those, or whatever hot cocoa serving mix thing in a bowl of oatmeal with a little bit of PB2. It's like the peanut butter chocolate thing. I miss doing that.
You know, that's very controversial too, is the PB2. Some people are like hardcore for it. I haven't really had it.
So for me, my opinion is PB2 trying to do it as a peanut butter replacement is a nope.
Right.
But to do it as a fortifier, meaning stir it into my oatmeal.
Okay.
That works for me. Stir it into my baked oats. That works as I'm getting the additional protein without the fat. But if I'm going to sit down and eat an apple with peanut butter, I am using peanut butter on that business.
See, but that makes me trust you. Like, and I don't know why, right? Like, I can trust you guys because we can talk about that. Because if you had said PB2 tastes just like peanut butter, that's not true.
No. I would do it in my oatmeal too. And again, like it added to the flavor, but it didn't feel like I had a scoop of peanut butter in my oatmeal.
And in yogurt, adding it into yogurt. I mean, that was if you're starting. Yeah, to me, that's a thing that you can kind of mix in with others. But when it's meant to be the star, like that peanut stew, I'm using natural peanut butter up in that business. I'm, you know, we've got the good stuff.
Yeah.
Only the good stuff.
That's good.
So,
that's good conversation.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if some things kind of pop to mind, some things that you're making, if there's some recipes that you're trying right now that you're like, this is really good, I think other people should try it, drop it over in the Real WW Talk Facebook group. We'd love to hear about it. If you're watching on YouTube, leave it as a comment for us. We'd love to see it. You can also follow us on Instagram. If you want to listen to us, just find us anywhere in your podcast app or watch us on YouTube. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to Fran and Beth and Erin Erin, I love your name. They are 3 of the newest Real WW Talk supporters to join up. Thank you. So if you are listening to this episode, it is because of them. They and several others have joined in with monthly support for this podcast. So we are so grateful to them for helping to make this available for the masses, for all y'all. So if you want to join in to that, we would certainly invite you and welcome you to do that. You'll find links within the show notes if you want to become a Real WW Talk supporter. And if you just want to send us a general email, realwwtalk@gmail.com is the place to get a hold of us. So that's it. We hope you have a great week, and hopefully we'll see you over in the Real WW Talk Facebook group.
Bye.
Bye.